1946 में जिस इमारत की तामीर शुरू की गई थी, असल में उसकी नींव बहुत पहले रखी गई थी. During the War of 1857, rebellious soldiers tried to make their own constitution, though the rebel was suppressed. But the dream of free India with its own constitution couldn't be suppressed. जैसे जैसे महात्मा गांधी के नेतृत्व में आजादी की आवाज तेज हुई, तो अपना संविधान यानी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को बनाने की मांग भी तीव्र होती गई.
My mentor, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, presented to the government a note on the constitution in 1914, and the British said, yes, we will accept it after the war. But now they wanted to make the constitution for us, which you know. The Constitution of India should be and can be framed only by the Indians.
For the first time, 3 cabinet secretaries of His Majesty were sent to India, and this mission was called the Cabinet Mission.
मैं और मेरे साथी इस वक्त यहाँ पूरे हिंदुस्तान की आजादी की पेशकश के लिए मौजूद हैं. Rest decisions can be made later in the Constituent Assembly.
Dreams that may turn into nightmares for the Muslims of this country if we allow Congress to have its way. That's why it's imperative that we Muslims of India have our own group of state that may decide its own constitution.
This is not acceptable to us. We are here to discuss the fate of the United India, not to break India into pieces. And if this is the purpose of this mission, I am afraid we have no more business being here.
The meeting was adjourned, and due to the fear of mass action, the British government agreed for the meeting of Constituent Assembly under the leadership of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru.
Mr. Chairman, the resolution that I am passing before you defines our aims and describes an outline of the plans and points to the way which we are going to follow.
भारत की अक्षुण्णता, अखंडता और स्वायत्तता से लेकर नए भारत में सबकी सम्मानता की बात अपने रेजोल्यूशन में रखी थी पंडित नेहरू जी ने.
My charge is that the Muslim League has been encouraged by the attitude of Britishers to imagine that if it doesn't come, it may be able to veto the final decision of the Constitutional Assembly.
For the first time, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar spoke in this assembly.
Today, we are divided politically, socially, and economically. We are a group of varying camps. And let me confer, I am probably a leader of such a camp. But sir, I am quite convinced that the given time and circumstances, nothing in the world will prevent this country from becoming one.
संविधान सभा का अगला यानी 5वां सत्र शुरू होना था. एक बहुत ही ऐतिहासिक दिन 15 अगस्त 1947.
आज वर्षों के संघर्ष और जद्दोजहद के बाद हम अपने देश के शासन की बागडोर अपने हाथों में लेने जा रहे हैं. अब पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू अपना प्रस्ताव प्रस्तुत करेंगे.
Long years ago, we make a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we redeem our pledge, not only or in full measures, but very substantial. At the silence of the midnight hour, when the world would sleep, the India will awake to life and freedom.
In this session, it was decided to work towards the writing of the Constitution.
तो यह तय किया गया है कि भारत के हर एक नागरिक को कहीं भी आने जाने, रहने, बसने, जायदाद खरीदने और नौकरी, काम व व्यवसाय करने की पूरी आजादी होगी.
The idea of making gift a fundamental right to principle is no doubt very laudable. The question is how to make them effective. The prevalent view is that once the rights are enacted in law, then they are safeguarded as experience. Proves rights are not protected by law but by the social and moral conscience of the society.
So, from my experience as a parliamentarian and the man of the world, I think it would be wise to provide for a woman's constituency. If you give them a special constituency, they can have their scrambles and fight among themselves without coming into the journal constituency.
Sir, the last speaker, Shri Rohini Kumar Chaudhary, the Harris World champion and defender of women who is against removing the social disabilities, spoke about special electorals for women, and in spite of the chivalry of the previous speaker, Indian women will not tolerate any such reservation in the Indian Constitution.
An important feature was added in the Indian Constitution, the directive principles of the state policy and reservation to the backward and minority group. Another important decision was taken regarding the property and the land issues. संविधान सभा में जितनी गर्म बहसें भाषा के सवाल को लेकर हुई, उतनी किसी और विषय पर नहीं हुई।
महोदय, मेरा मत है कि हिंदी और केवल हिंदी हमारे देश की राष्ट्रभाषा हो सकती है। जहां तक दक्षिण भारत के नागरिकों और सदस्यों का सवाल है, मैं स्वीकार करता हूं कि कुछ वर्षों तक कार्यवाही अंग्रेजी में होगी। हम उन पर जबरदस्ती कुछ लाद तो नहीं सकते, परंतु हाँ, अंत में हिंदी हमारी राष्ट्रभाषा होगी और देवनागरी राष्ट्रलिपि।
I would sir convey a warning on behalf of the people of South India, because there are already elements who want separation, and it is up to us to firmly try and keep those elements down. And my friends in Uttar Pradesh do not help in any way by repeatedly flogging their idea of Hindi imperialism. Sir, it's up to my friends in Uttar Pradesh to have an undivided, unbroken whole India, or it's up to them to have a Hindi India. Thank you.
I'm really disheartened to see the thought process of fellow Indian men with this small vision in mind. We cannot achieve anything.
It is important to have the provincial and the concurrent system of the government.
The three pillars of our democracy are the legislature, the executive and the जुडिशरी। संविधान सभा के इस खूबसूरत सेंट्रल हॉल में 3 साल में बहुत से प्रस्ताव, अनुच्छेद और नुक्ते रखे गए और पास किए गए। बिल्कुल अंत में पारित हुई हमारी उद्देशिका यानी प्रियम्बल, जो संविधान में सबसे पहले आती है।
Solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure its citizens justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. On the 26th January 1950, we are going to enter into a life of contradiction. In politics, we will have equality, and in social and economic life, we will have inequality. In politics, we will be recognizing the principle of one man, one vote. One vote, one value. In our social and economic life, we continue to deny the principle of one man, one value. How long shall we live the life of contradiction? How long shall we continue to deny equality in our social and economic life? We must remove this contradiction at the earliest moment, or else who suffer from such inequality will blow up the structure of this political democracy so laboriously built up by this assembly.
आज 7 दशकों के बाद जब हम मुड़कर अपने संविधान की ओर देखते हैं तो हैरत होती है इस दस्तावेज को बनाने वाले की सूझबूझ पर। According to Granville Austin, equipped with a basic qualification, attitudes and experience for creating and working on a democratic constitution. Indians did not default their tryst with destiny. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
मजहब नहीं सिखाता आपस